I talked to my son about that. He's 11 years old, so he's starting to get interested in these types of movies, and he starts to reflect about them. And I told him like a while ago, we watched the zombie movie, what is it called, with Brad Pitt, and I was like, if the world, if the reality, and everything turns a bit upside down, this is how it can look like. Like the zombies in the movies are actually humans. Like, think about it like that.
Yeah, because they actually exist in reality. This concept of zombies, in this book here, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, you have these different realms. You have one realm that is one of the lowest realms, and there is where the hungry ghosts exist.
Oh, yeah.
They are never content. They are always hungry, and they are always seeking. That's the zombie archetypally, and it's also a part of this consumerism, consuming things. When you look at what is popular in the culture, that says something about the unconscious of human in this time. It's the zeitgeist, the spirit of the time.
Hello, I'm your host, Matthias Lidborn, and this is the Metanoia Path Podcast. Hello, and welcome everybody to the Metanoia Path Podcast. With me, your host, Matthias Lidborn. This is the first episode of this podcast, episode 1. In this episode, I had a conversation during a live stream on YouTube with Tommy Alfredsson. He jumped on this live stream, and it wasn't planned, but he joined the discussion and we had a really engaging conversation. A little more about Tommy. He's a firefighter, martial artist, and the host of the podcast Captain's Log. He lives with his family in a rural area, close and in the woods, and he's into survivalism, outdoor life, and prepping. According to an article in the Gothenburg Post, Göteborgs-Posten, he's something of a samurai. They make a playful reference to his discipline and approach to life. He's featured also in Dalslänningen for his commitment as a prepper. So there's 2 interesting articles about this guy that you can look up if you're Swedish. In this conversation, we explored the theme Beyond Burnout, a search for meaning. We dwelled into the essence of meaning, where to find it when you feel like you've done everything right, but you still fall short. We also discussed how modern urban environment has become zombified, contributing to the loneliness and disconnect many people feel today. I will also mention that this episode and this podcast is also available on Spotify on the Metanoia Path Podcast. With no further ado, enjoy.
Yeah, here we go. Add Mr. Tommy to this. Oh, hello, Tommy. How are you doing?
Yo!
Yo. How are you doing, my friend?
Wait, I gotta mute the YouTube video.
No problem.
So there's some background noise here. Small.
Hey, no problem. No, that's it's the sound of life.
Yeah, it is. I guess it is.
Yeah, it is. It is. So all good and well. So, Mr. Lumberjack, what have you been up to today? Do you have any thoughts on the topic? And
Mr. Lumberjack. I recorded a video out in my gym before I came here, so you gotta refresh my mind about the topic.
Yeah, the topic is Beyond Burnout.
Yeah.
A search for meaning. So what I mean with that is we oftentimes in modern society we have this pursuit for success, pursuit for well-being and health and so forth.
Yeah.
But what you can see in many modern people is they rise and fall.
Yes.
That's when you start to ask the existential questions, and you ask, what is the telos behind my actions? The purpose behind your actions.
Yeah.
If you don't have any purpose, it becomes a meaning. It becomes meaningless suffering.
Yeah, and that is the shittiest form of suffering, right?
Yeah,
Where you just
that's the
suffer.
black pill.
Yeah,
That's the black pill.
right. So, do you have an experience with this? Can you did you have a period in your life where you chased something like this without meaning?
Yes, of course. It's. I think it's quite bound to the early age, in the teenage, and in the 20s. When you have, I would say for myself, I have always had some notion of the spiritual and religious and so forth. But I in the early age, you're not so prone to put attention on it, because you want to strive, and that's all good and well in the early days of a man's life, because you have to learn, and you have to do trial and error, and you have to fall and get humbled. And you want to content with your bros and your and everyone. So of course I have had that experience, and I would say what you do is you cling to material things, you cling to success, but not the success that you have actually, but the success in other people's eyes. That's very common. I could see that in So and in the start of this stream, I told a story about an Indian guy I met at Jordan B. Peterson event. He was in the VIP section, and when I was going to the hotel, he was actually staying on the same hotel. And
nice.
So I asked him what he thought of the event, the Q&A with Peterson and so forth. And he started to open up, and he was a quite successful young guy that had a big event firm, was traveling around and having big events, I don't know, party or something like that. And he was a professional football player. So he opened up to me, and I noticed he wanted me to have a he was searching for insight, somewhere, and wanted to see if I could relate to when you do everything right, you do your training, you eat your food that is good for you, and you make good decisions and so forth. You have the discipline and routines and everything, but then you find yourself, he said, find himself falling down. And so it was quite obvious.
What was his how did so he was quite successful now also, right? But
I don't know. I don't have any contact with that particular guy. So, but it was a good example,
It is.
And it's not the first time. I've seen it in both clients and also people around me. People with success that start to ask where to go next. And people are very afraid to to how to say anyway how to they're afraid where their questions might lead them.
So what do you think they're scared of?
That their atheist presuppositions might be somewhat the ground for their nihilism, or their that their presupposition from the perspective of their atheist perspective. That I hear a lot of voices.
Yeah. It's getting better.
Is it war? It's wartime.
It's fucking wartime. But
Yeah.
now it's getting better.
Yeah. So anyway, where was I? They're afraid to where it might lead them. What's the higher purpose?
Yeah. I think also people are really scared that, like, is this it? I would, if I were to place myself, at where am I on my journey at the moment? I struggle a lot with, like, okay, so I've covered all my basic needs as a human being. I'm fed. I have a roof over my head. I have no demons chasing me in my head, at least not at the moment. Got figured out a lot of stuff, and fixed a lot of holes that were leaking. Created a life for myself that I'm, in some sense, always wanted to have. So now I'm sitting here like, is this it then? Is this how it should feel like? like
How does it feel?
How does it feel? No, but it feels.
Are you content?
Yeah, I am, and that's that is. I feel like this. By the end of the day, Tommy, would you like to repeat this day that you had today? Usually, more and more, my answer is yes. Yeah. So what happened today? Now, I had a workout in the morning. I took a walk, ate some food, played with the kids, took a nap. It's quite simple, I read a book. Like, it's so goddamn simple, everything. And I'm like, yeah, I guess in a way, this is like. But what I'm struggling with is the like have it all, the simplicity of the feeling of being content, and like, yeah, I would like to repeat this day. The ingredients it takes for me to have that feeling that I want to repeat the day is very simple. Does it make sense what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
It's not a lot that I require as a human being to have this feeling of, I don't want to call it happiness, but it's like,
happiness is a watered down word.
it is.
Yeah,
but
it's really corny.
Peace, like peaceful, like, because I just got to wrap it up there. But how I'm programmed and what's connected to your topic here and what you started by talking about, like, I've always believed that for me to get this feeling that I have now on a typical Wednesday, or whatever day it might be, I thought I would need to do more, bigger, upwards all the time. I thought if I do that, if I climb high enough, I'm going to find, I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm going to find something. But it was always the answer to my searching, or how to say it, was always like, do less. Shut up and sit down and be quiet and don't do nothing. Like,
Yeah, you're not so special.
No,
Exactly. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
like, no.
It's like a disease today, that many young people get told the story of success. You have to do this.
Like,
You're so special. But I can relate 100% to what you're saying, and simplicity is a big key.
it is.
Restrain yourself. Don't indulgence in food. Don't indulgence in sex, and don't indulge in social engagement. Everything has to be placed in the proper way. In the hierarchy, where your priorities is. And when it's becoming one-sided, it turns into its opposite, and that's not good. So
when I was like,
discernment.
I just break in there a bit. Like,
Yeah,
I
no
was
problem.
like
You go.
27 years old.
Yeah.
I worked as a firefighter. I worked as a learning and development manager for a huge company. I was in good shape. I made quite a lot of money. I had a good wife. On paper, like, everything looked good. But I was just playing Follow John. I played that game. I looked around me like, so now I'm an adult. What should I do? And I started doing these things that I saw everyone else doing. And for some fucking reason, it went pretty well for me, because I was like, yeah, this is like a video game. Play, these are the rules, blah, 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 blah. So I did all the stuff, but I was like, every time I achieved something that I aspired to achieve, I didn't feel anything. I was like, okay, so what's next? What's next? What's next? That type of culture, that way of thinking, it makes you rotten from the inside. So I did that, and then I woke up in that fucking hypnosis, matrix, call it whatever, and like, no, this is just a game. Everyone is playing this game because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So they're just playing Follow John. They're following each other. That's the game. We're just copying each other. Like, we dress a certain way, we talk a certain way, we aspire for certain things connected to work, career, whatever. It's just, who the fuck made this game up? We're just playing it like mindless drones.
Yeah, it's called consumerism.
Oh yeah.
So it's a intermingle with everything that you can consume. Not just consuming purchase material stuff and so forth, but consuming other humans as well.
Oh yeah, everything.
Yeah, of course. Yes. And that's a big distraction, and that is especially what you can see in and also I've seen in myself, of course. When you just aim for the next thing, as you said as well, and that is that you need something before you to make you going.
Yes.
But as I said in the beginning in the video as well, one thing that is also very true for our modern society today, especially in like a secular country like Sweden. Is
Yeah.
you don't tell people that the simple things is the way to go, and not the career path. It's not bad to have a career and get money, but
No,
to start a
of course
family,
not.
it has been true for thousands of years. It's just in this little period of time where it's neglected,
Yes.
especially
So
for
you.
females, to get
Oh, yeah,
children.
yeah, yeah. So you focus on. It's like you focus on 25 different things in your life and at 25 different directions searching for something, but you skip like the most fundamental basic thing that you're kind of constructed to just do, like 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 being a mother or a father or so yeah, I don't think I've said this before myself also, like, but what we're doing, this experiment we are in this modern society, like, yeah, the system produces a lot of obedient taxpayers, but strong people, like when I sweep with my eyes around me, especially when I'm like in a city or something where there's a lot of humans, I don't see that much strong people. Like I see, I don't know what I'm seeing.
Despair.
I see
And,
people just walking, just
yeah, zombies.
yeah, it's almost scary. Like it's
And not it's not just like people are they're of course a dumbing of the people, but also it's like a zombie that is hypnotized with her,
yeah.
and so it's a cake, but upon the cake there's a bigger death cake.
I think the
So,
zombie thing is really interesting. Like I talked to my son about that. He's 11 years old, so he's starting to get interested in these types of movies, and he starts to reflect about them. And I told him like a while ago, we watched the zombie movie. What is it called, with Brad Pitt? Yeah, it doesn't matter. And I was like, if the world, if the reality, and everything turns a bit upside down, this is how it can looks like the zombies in the movies are actually humans. Like, think about it like that. We just had an interesting discussion about it. Like, maybe you can read in more in this movie, was my point that I tried to give him. Like, then these are some type of monsters that
yeah, because they actually exist in reality. The concept of zombies,
yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's like in this book here, the Tibetan Book of the Dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I own a version of that book.
Okay. Do you have the one with Carl Jung forwards?
No, I don't remember. I stole it from a library.
Oh, okay.
When I was like 18 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, you have these different realms. You have one realm that is one of the lowest realms, and there is where the hungry ghosts exist.
Oh yeah. Hungry ghosts.
And they are never content. They are always hungry, and they are always seeking. That's the zombie archetypally.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, and it's also a part of this consumerism, consuming things. You know,
Yeah.
So
Like a monster.
So it's of course when you look at what is popular in the culture, that says something about the unconscious of human in this time. Is the zeitgeist, the spirit of the time.
Yeah.
And
I said that a couple of times during the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't know what I said it to a lot of friends. I'm like, can't you see this? This shit is going on, and of course it did. But I remember thinking when I logged into Netflix, and they have this like the most popular movies at the moment, and I saw that. I had nothing to I don't remember exactly what type of movies it was like a year before I started thinking about this, but my brain told me that, okay, something is changing because a lot of these old titles came back to life again. This super brain dead entertainment that was quite popular had like been pushed away a bit from these. It was like the movie Gladiator, the TV series Vikings. There was a lot of movies with these archetypical hero stories came up a bit again, and my thought was, this is just people are a bit scared. People are they feel maybe they have a hard time, so you are more inclined to be drawn to certain type of stories. And it was just something I reflected about during the pandemic.
Just to go back to what you said before, when you're in a city, you don't see many strong people, but what you don't have, you really want, and what you don't have, you want in your life. It's not a coincidence that
I guess not, right? I guess not.
Because that is what is lacking in our society.
Yeah, right.
People thirst for heroes and strong people, people that is righteous with good morals. That make the right decision in the right time, and also it have been many. I haven't owned a TV since I moved out when I was just a teenager. So, I don't watch a lot of movies. But
good for you.
But there are some good movies, and what you can see in newer movies is anti-heroes. So people also get a little more confused about what is good and what is bad. In older movies, it was quite clear. Okay, this is a demon, and this is a savior.
Superman.
So absolutely. 2 seconds. I need to fix something to a glass of water. 2 seconds.
Yeah. Same here.
Great. See you soon. There we go.
So I got like 10 more minutes before I need to grab the kids.
Yeah, I also have to wrap it up soon. I've been here for almost 2 hours. My voice is starting to leave me here. But so you said you had this pursuit for success. in your life, and now you have this more rural living, this more traditional form of living where you find meaning in the subtle things in life. You create and you build. I've seen on your Instagram. I'm fascinated. You live a life that I am aiming for. With children and outside in nature and so forth. That is a very meaningful setting, and also example for the kids to grow up in.
It feels very strange. It happens sometimes that someone tells me that what you said right now, that it looks not like I am probably the opposite of full of myself, so I'm saying this. But when someone says like the life you live, it looks beautiful or whatever, like I would like to live like that. To me, that is a very strange thing to take in, because. But I get it. Intellectually, I can get it. But my spontaneous thought is like, yeah, but it's really basic.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. So, but I get it. The it's not easy just because it's basic. But it's like, yeah, it's nothing special. I'm thinking that's my spontaneous thought when I hear that you say something like that. Like, yeah.
But it's also it requires discipline, and I have seen this in my life always. I'm always trying to make my life harder than it not supposed to be. But I forget the English word sometimes. You know what I mean?
I get what
it could be easier, but I chose the harder path. I choose to not do this. Everything I like to do, yes. I restrained. I don't do it. So people say, "Oh, don't you like this?" I love it. Why don't you do it? No, it's not for me to do. And when you restrain yourself, you really it's a truth, not just in the mechanical way how you do it, and or how you think in your thinking patterns.
Yes.
It's also chemical.
Yes.
Of course, when you push yourself, you will feel great. The simplest when you train, it's so simple. Yeah, you feel good afterwards. Nothing strange, so but it's it has to have a purpose. So in your case, you have a great family, and you seem to be a very good provider, and being very engaged with the children, and you teach them things that is necessary. And it seems that you do it in a very, very pedagogical way, but you make the things fun, but not too fun.
Never too fun.
Never too fun. You can see sometimes in your videos, you can see.
Never
but you, I think it's a middle kid with the afro.
Yeah.
He seems to never complain.
I mean,
he's a tough little boy. That one.
That kid, like me and my wife, we should like. I don't know how we should prepare ourselves for him, starting school and stuff like that. And like, I'm thinking Brazilian jiu-jitsu 5 times a week. Like that fucker needs to, sorry for calling you that,
Yeah.
but that he needs to be, he's operating at some different level than kids his age. Like
Yeah.
the way he wields an axe, like if I told him, Elliot, today you and I, we're gonna butcher some chickens, he would stand there like a small soldier with his axe, like, okay,
Yeah.
when do we do it? I'm like, kid, you should probably not butcher chickens when you're 4 years old. But he would so that's what I like about like being a father also, that my demons and all my challenges and you know, all the time, I can put a lot of that aside and just focus on trying to create small, strong humans. So that's like a cheat code. I'm thinking so, because that you always.
I don't know if you can hear me, but you're lagging quite hard.
So
Yeah, I hear you now, but your picture is frozen. But yeah, anyway.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but your picture. No, yeah, everything is great.
I just need. I'm going to wrap up that thought there, but like,
Yeah.
It is a cheat code, but also in my little brain up here, I'm thinking like, doesn't everyone has the cheat code? And then I sweep with my eyes around me like, no, obviously not. It's not a cheat code.
Okay,
Because-
can you just sorry? Can you just clarify that? Do you mean that you have is your cheat code to put your focus on your kids? Is that what you're saying, or
Like, if you have a shitty day,
yeah,
and I have shitty days, so they help me to not care that much about my shitty days, or like get stuck on certain thought patterns or negative blah blah blah, because I have a mission that I need to always focus and accomplish. Like I got small humans, like, so I'm calling that a cheat code. But then I'm realizing also, like, so for me it's a cheat code, but for my neighbor these small humans might be just annoying and something that makes that person more tired and more worn down and more. So it's not a cheat code for everyone. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
okay, yeah, I see. And you know, it's a perfect example of setting yourself aside.
Yeah, exactly.
And
That's
live
what I'm trying to say.
for the other.
Yes.
And of course, that is easier with the family, but that will extend. And you can think it like this: when you by your presence in front of your children, acting the way you act, that will also extend to them. There will be a virtue they will attain.
Oh yeah.
And they will care for the other.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
the way of coming in communion with people. And that is also something that is very much lacking today. That's very important. You know, I will take this shortly, but I was on a baptism. My best friend, his child was baptized, and then my other friend my childhood friend. We were a couple of guys. We were childhood friends, and we were 4 years old. So, and he have the other guy have 3 children, and a little one. I think he's 3 years old. I think 2.5, 3 years old. And he's he is. I watched him every time. You can see him how he moves and how he engages with people.
Yes.
He's a very, very nice little kid, but he's quite when he don't want your presence, he will tell you no, go away.
Yes.
And then he will go to a own adventure, and he will go away from the crowd, and then he will just sit and inspect the environment. So I was looking at him, and then his father come to behind me, and he saw me watching his child. So is he always like this? He's okay. So I told him, you can really see that he's a very gentle soul. He's really he's a really good kid. And he said, he's extremely nice. He told me that they have this this girl in class that have I don't know, Down syndrome in parallel class. He told me that he's always striking her cheek and say to the other children, look at her, she's beautiful. So you can, in some kids you can see they have this kind spirit.
Yes.
Not every child has, but
no, and that is also like something every parent should be mindful of, that you might
accumulate it.
You might think that, oh, here comes my little toddler, he's a fucking chaotic little beast and he just behaves badly, but you love him because you're his parents. But like, not every person is gonna do that. Like, same with teachers, everything. Like, but this one,
it's time for nap, right?
3rd-degree burn on her hand. She fell down a fire pit with both hands, like.
Ooh, Jesus. What did the doctor say? Will she manage without bruises, or maybe?
We'll see. We've been there switching bandages for like 1.5 weeks now, every day.
Okay.
So it's quite bad, but it's getting better.
That's great to hear.
And I mean the way that my kids are being raised out here, I'm just happy that nothing like Elliot, he's probably gonna chop some finger off sometime. I don't know. Like I'm kind of expecting that. Like, so I just got to be prepared for meeting the healthcare and like.
But I heard you said in a video that your father, he was a knife smith. Yeah. So if the kid Elliot cuts his hand off, he can just do like Edward Scissorhands.
Oh yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
So it's better if it happens here with our family. But yeah, I appreciate this talk, brother. Let's see this as a warm up for the podcast. And gotta go put the baby to sleep.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much for jumping on. It was you rescued my stream here, so thank you very much.
No problem. Take care, brother.
Take care, Tommy. Good night.
So there you go, the first episode of the Metanoia Path Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode and are excited to listen to the next and all the episode in the future. So in my next episode, I will be talking to Mormir Olchaka. He is a religialist and a Catholic Christian, and also into Jungian psychology. So in that episode, we talked for 6 hours So I will divide these 6 hours into 3 episodes, 2 hours each. Hope you will join me then and listen on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or look at YouTube for the conversation. And also, don't forget to follow this podcast here on Spotify, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. And why not go in and share it and like my content and episodes. So all the episodes is in one list, so it's easy to find the particular episodes. Don't forget to check out my Instagram account, Matthias Lidborn, and Matthias Lidborn SWE. The SWE is my Swedish Instagram account. Anyway, if you want to book a coaching session with me, you can always mail me or go into my website. All the information is in the description in this episode, in YouTube, and also here on Spotify. So, I hope you tune in to the next episode. Thank you very much. Bye.